Okay, I wanted to get my stopwatch started here. This is going to be the critiques for all of the classes. I'm going to start with some general comments, so everybody needs to pay attention to this, and then we'll get into the critiques. We may have to divide them into a couple of sections because there are a lot of critiques to do. All right, here's the bad news. A lot of you did not start with following directions. There were 2 blackboards that were due. You need to make sure you do 2 each week. In one of the blackboards, it required you to respond to another person in the class. We track all of that. If you didn't respond, you do not get any points for half of the points that are available just by that particular thing. Your response must also comply with whatever the assignment was. So if the assignment says, when you respond, recite the Declaration of Independence, you do not respond and say, "Hi, nice weather we're having here." All right? Read all of the directions. Also, in the speech process itself, you end up with information on what you're supposed to do. I'm going to hold this up to the camera here. It looks something like this. I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me go in a little tighter here. The focus is not that good, is it? Okay. But anyhow, this is what you would be looking for, and it says Speech 1, the self-introduction speech, and it tells you everything you need to know about that. For instance, it tells you what to talk about in the speech. It tells you how many points there are, and then it tells you it needs to be 3 to 4 minutes. Now, in this class, you are expected to rehearse your speech, okay? That means that you rehearse it so you have an idea of how long it runs. Now, here's a little inside information. No matter how many times you rehearse it, you are either going to run a little faster or a little slower when you actually do the speech. So I allow what I call slop time. That means that in a 3 to 4 minute speech, you have anywhere from 2:45, 15 seconds under, to 4:15, that's 15 seconds over, plus you have a minute of variance in between. So follow those. Some of you missed it horrendously. Missed the amount of time that you were supposed to do that. Also, you were required to have a speaking outline and a preparation outline. 2 things. I was supposed to receive those via email from your email account to my email account. That's another issue. Even another issue is that each of you is expected to have provided me, let me get my sheet up here right, provided me a photo ID. I do not have photo IDs from a fair number of you. Also, you were supposed to provide me a fantasy name. For the most part, I have that. You are also given infinitely detailed instructions about what to say to me in the subject line of each message you send me. So, for instance, we have 2 outlines that are due. You send that as an email attachment. You do 121 space dash space COMM 101 space dash space, and then you will say you will have speaking outline and preparation outline for self-introduction. Okay, you got to tell me all of that. All right. Another thing that you want to do is on Facebook, when you are responding to someone else, you want to put your name at the bottom of that. There are some specific things you're supposed to do in Facebook. Make sure you follow those directions when you do things. The outline also will tell you the speech introduction instructions that I held up for you. Will tell you whether you need a visual aid. It'll also tell you if you need sources and how many. And let me just give you a couple of points now. All right. We told you that the shot must look like this shot, the one you're seeing right now, an inch or 2 above my head and essentially the bust line, mid-chest. That's it. See how it's composed? That is the only shot I want to see. If you are using a visual and you hold up a visual, you can hold it up, well, if we do it like this, you can hold up the visual in front of your face if you want to, a little bit like this, but don't do it too long. You're going to send me a copy of the visual. I will look at that. I don't need to see this. Now, here's a little departure. You have an audience. Talk to me. I can't tell when you're doing this to talk to your audience whether you are really talking to anybody or whether you're a nervous head or whatever. So make it a point, look at the camera. Now, just a hint, I've done a lot of television. Do not see the camera as a piece of hardware. Picture me. I'm that short, fat guy sitting in this office in Bloomington, Indiana. Talk to me. Don't talk at me. Don't talk to a piece of hardware. Talk to me. Visualize who I am. You can see where I'm be sitting to watch the speeches. So think in terms of that. All right. Audience. Some people went really bananas on the audience thing. And when you did that, you kind of like the age. I don't care whether someone is 85 or 82. The issue is they've got to be 16 or older. Okay? So don't get all wrapped up. And I had one thing for fun that they all said over 21. That's fine. I don't care. But I need to know, because if they look young and they say they're 15 years old, you haven't met your speech audience requirement. Okay? So keep all of that in mind. It also says you need 6, Mr. Rogers, 6 people in your audience. That's this many fingers. All right. 5 is not that many fingers. 3 is not that many fingers. Okay. Enough said. The other part of this is that you have to have the audience go in front of the camera. All right. I don't need to see the audience after they've gone in front of the camera. Don't give me a shot from behind the heads of the audience to you. You're too far away from the camera when you do that. All right? So, 6 people. There is no, I can't give any quarter on that. It requires 6 people. They've got to be 16 years of age or older. First speech, okay, you lost some points on the speech for not having the audience. You will now start to lose a grade for each lacking speech audience member. If you have a problem, you need to talk to me about the fact that one of your people didn't show up, and that's why. Also, the speaker is not a member of the audience. So don't show me 5 people and say the 6th person was the speaker. You can't be the speaker and the audience at the same time. All right? Watch the noise that's going on in and around the room. Some of you did it at locations. There's noise, there's distractions, there's all kinds of things happening. I know some of you have families, and I know this is difficult, but you've got to control the environment. If I can hear the television set, it's too loud. If I can hear the kids in another room, it's too loud. You need to control that kind of environment. Also, it appeared that at least one of you had the audience leave, because after the last person introduced themselves, I saw something like this. And after a period of time, I heard a door close. And then I saw the speech start. Have the audience stay there while you're giving your speech. The other interesting thing is you cannot, under any circumstance, edit your speech. In a speech class, you stand up, you give the speech, you finish the speech. There are no do-overs. There are no, take 2, and there is no editing allowed. Okay? It has to be straight through one time. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know whether you sent me your first attempt or your 14th attempt, but I got to see the audience each time. It's got to be straight through each time. Okay? Now, I just shared with you some inside stuff, and in a speech class, you only get one chance to do it. All right. The room has got to be such that there are no bright lights shining at you, no bright lights over your shoulder, nothing to distract. Some of you, I cannot see your face. I've got to be able to see your eyes for the eye contact, whether you're talking and not, you're looking down all the time, those kind of, if I can't see your face, I cannot judge the speech. It will cost you points. So make sure that you have straight on and light on your face. Do not stand in front of open doors, open windows, patio doors, or in front of, if there were sconces behind me, bright lights, don't do that. If there's an overhead light that I can see in the picture, don't do that. Remember, your microphone is on your camera. Don't zoom to the shot. You want to have the camera close. You must use a tripod. Some of the pictures are bouncing up and down. I can see that there is no tripod in use. It's got to be. If you can't find a tripod, find a ladder and put it on the rung of a ladder so it sits steady. The shot has got to be straight in, straight in. Do not shoot up, do not shoot down. Straight in to the shot, okay? That's a whole bunch of stuff, but it's all things you're going to hear me talking about in the speeches, and you need to pay very, very close attention about these kinds of things because they're going to cost you points in this class. You cannot afford to leave points on the table. For instance, discussion board. There are 160 points in a discussion board. If you get all of the points there, if you had nothing else, that's 1.5 grade points. Think about that. It can take you from a C to a very high B just in discussion boards. All right? Make sure you do all of those. Make sure you go for every point you can possibly get when you're giving your speech. Make sure you've turned in all of the information. Make sure you turned it in on time. All right? There's a test due tonight. This is Sunday. It's due tonight at 11:59. That's it. After 11:59, you cannot take that test, period. Please try to start turning in your assignments earlier. That way, if you have any problems, you can get them fixed before it's too late. Finally, if you have any kind of a technical problem whatsoever with McGraw-Hill trying to get to connect, trying to get your speeches uploaded, you need to talk to them. They have a number, an 800 number you can call. Deal with them. There's nothing I can do on my end except allow you another attempt. But first you got to solve whatever problem you're having with McGraw-Hill. Okay? If you're taking in the exam and you have a problem, I can reset the exam. If I'm anywhere near a computer, I can reset it. But don't wait until Sunday night at 11 o'clock to do it. If you have a problem, call me. You have my home phone number, my cell phone number. Okay? Please don't abuse that. I will not think kindly of you if you do. But if you have a problem with a test that needs to be reset, call me. Do not call me about a technical problem with McGraw-Hill until after you have talked to them and they've told you whatever you need to do. Don't forget you have to compress your speech. Don't forget you need to make sure it uploaded and look at it yourself. Make sure it's what you want it to be before you submit it. Okay, we're going to stop here and then we'll start doing the critiques.